Hey, this is Nkem Ezeamama from Pheenyx Capital Investment. If you want to learn how to use your small acts to build an empire, you should be listening to the Small Acts podcast with my good friend Nico.
Hey guys, it's your boy Nico here from the Small Acts Podcast. I want to show you how to use your small acts to build a lasting empire. You see, not everybody begins their investing career with millions of dollars, a huge network of investors, or the knowledge necessary to become successful in this space, and that's okay. What I focus on here on this podcast is helping you hone your skills, sharpen your tools to become the best investor that you can be. Now, I want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy this show. If you have any questions or you want to reach out to me or the guest, feel free to do so. Love you guys. All right, Small Acts community, this is it. This is the fourth quarter wrap up for these superstars. I had 2 or 3 this year, but I think they all fell off except for Nkem Ezeamama. She's here. She's with me. She's rocking and rolling against all odds, against all this crazy stuff that is going on in life. She's here. She's going to talk about what she's been up to. We're going to wrap up the year. So excited to get her back on because I love chatting with her, but I'm not going to hog the conversation. Nkem, I want you to kind of hop on and talk about what you've been working on.
Hi, everyone. It's glad to be back. You know what's funny? Every year, the year just flies by quicker and quicker. So it's shocking to me that in 10 days, we're going to be saying Happy New Year. Or 10 and a half days, however you look at it, or wherever you are in the country as you're listening to this. But it's been amazing just kind of what this year has been and to reflect on it. So my name is Nkem Ezeamama. I'm an ER physician. For those who don't remember, I am the CEO and founder of Pheenyx Capital Investment. And our goal is to help healthcare professionals build passive wealth through real estate investing, specifically multifamily. So we've been going rocking steady, and I'm really happy. And if anyone's listening, I'm really happy that I don't know how many people started out, and to know that we're still standing, I think that's just is a testament to character, to strength, to resilience, especially in the kind of the market and the terms that we're in. So kind of update for you guys or whoever's listening. So I left off last time and I said we had just closed a deal. Within this quarter, distribution started happening. So within 3 months of closing, all our investors started getting distributions, or we're distributing monthly. So that was really cool. It's a 48 unit that we purchased as a team. And it's been doing really well. We started renovations. The tenants are happy. I was just on an asset management call yesterday, and just to kind of hear new garages are being put up, new tenants are moving into brand new apartment complexes. So it's coming full circle to see, kind of where we started off and see all the progress that has been going on, and then to where we are. And just like every month when I send out investor updates, it's very exciting to kind of see how this came to life and just bearing fruit. So that's been really cool. We have been looking additionally as Pheenyx Capital, looking for properties, looking for deals, and we have struck out multiple times, but I'm not discouraged. I know that, our deals are out there, and I know that we just need to continue pressing on. But we have underwritten in the last quarter, we probably underwrote maybe 30 to 35 deals that we thought that we were able to scrutinize and then kind of review, and none of them we put in an LOI or 2, but none of them really penciled out. And that's okay. I'm not worried. I'm not concerned. I just know that we're going to work harder in the new year and that we'll find something. So that's that. What else has been going on since I last chatted with you guys? I created kind of one of the biggest, coolest things I did, which I think it's in line with entrepreneurship, who I am today and where I'm heading to. But I created an expansive life blueprint, and it's almost a 40-page document on just lifestyle, how the mindset that you need to the mindset that you need to shift in order to embark on the journey of your best you, the habits that you need to create. Also just a section on gratitude, a letter to yourself or your future self on all the changes that you want to make and who you want to become. So I put that together, and it's been really, really amazing to share that with everyone. So about, as of maybe this morning, 120 people have downloaded it. So I'm really excited, and the feedback has been really positive. And I will say this, it is everything that I've done, moving from full-time ER doc to ER doc, entrepreneur, speaker, and just like all the things that I'm doing. And it's been really awesome. So that has also been really exciting. And I told you guys last time also that we're building a team, and that's been going really well. We started from scratch, and we acquired an acquisition associate, learning how to underwrite, talk to brokers, and it's been an awesome ride. To see her grow has just been fantastic. We got marketing on board as well, just to put ourselves out there and to let our investors know this is what we're doing, this is who we are. So that's a little bit about all that we've been up to. Oh, and in the last quarter, made it to 2 conferences, sponsored one, and just went to network at another one. And then also additionally went to 3 speaking engagements where I just educated healthcare professionals and the likes about all things real estate investing and the need to diversify wealth. So I think that's all I've been up to. And I can't think of anything else. It seems like not a lot, but I feel like I just feel like every day I've decided to take a step forward. And those are the things that I'm doing that I know will take me to where I'm going.
Oh my God. And Ken, what do you mean that seems like it's not a lot? That's crazy. 1 quarter? Oh my God. See, you're like a go-getter. You push yourself so hard, and that's what I love about you. It's so cool. Some people might be like, oh, you're burning out, you're gonna burn out. Hell no, keep going. I love it. I love to see you're only gonna get yourself to the next level by everything that you're doing. It's so cool. I want to backtrack a little bit.
Okay.
So you looked at a lot of deals and you offered on a couple. When you offer on a deal, why would you offer on it? Like, I look at hundreds of deals also, right? I'm always looking at deals, and I don't always offer on deals either. But I'm going to ask you, like, why wouldn't you offer on a deal? What's some red flags?
Okay. So a lot of times, a few red flags, the things that I look at, the things that I will say will pass on. So if we start underwriting a property, and one we just can't come close to the asking price. If we're about like from what I've seen and from the numbers that have made sense, if we're like less than 10% between our asking price and the whisper price, then we'll go ahead and just like put our name in the ring. But if it's that far off where I don't think we're going to get it, then I just don't bother. And I also, another thing we've done is a close relationship with the broker. So if I talk with the broker and I'm just like, hey, this is the number that we're coming close to, is that are we even close? And if he says no, I'll say these are the reasons why, which I'll tell you. But I know there's a deal we passed on that another team offered, I want to say 2.2 million above what we were offering. And so I knew, and I could not make the numbers meet. Like I could not make the numbers work. So I didn't think at that point, I was like, it's not worth it. A lot of the things that kind of I've looked at in terms of why I would walk away from a deal, if I just can't get, I look at a cash on cash based on all our numbers. If I can't get it to like above, like somewhere around 6%, like if the deal doesn't make sense at that, and I've played around with my numbers, I've adjusted my rent growth, I have made sure that like I'm tight in my expenses, at least as tight as I can be, or I've even like toggled a little bit on the cap rate. If I can't get any of that to work, and I can't get numbers to what I'm promising my investors, and my investors know that, like with real estate, with any investing, we take a risk. So it's like, but it's calculated risk. So if the numbers don't work, they just don't work, and then also I try to figure out what the lender will lend on. And if I can't get a debt service coverage ratio of that around that like 1.25, then it's just easy for me. I think that we have hard cutoffs for a reason. And I think that if they just don't work, they don't work. Now, if I see if I talk with our property manager and they say, okay, this property is being managed properly, being mismanaged, and we can really be tight with some of our numbers where I'm like, okay, I can be a little bit more lenient in some other areas, then I will, I'll be a little bit more flexible. But what I don't want to happen is that, with And I'll share with one of our, like that last property that we closed very shortly before closing, our interest rates went, our insurance rates went significantly high. And there was some weather, there was a storm that came through and it kind of affected things a little bit, and it negatively impacted us. And so for that reason, our insurance quote went significantly higher than what we had underwritten for. But because we were conservative, we were able to, like, that didn't affect us, and we still pushed forward with the deal. So we want to make sure that we have contingency plans for the things that we can't even see coming. And so that's why I'll be a little bit more conservative in my underwriting, so that I can account for all those things, even if I don't know what they are, but most likely they'll be coming. Those are the things that I look at when I'm saying, hey, I need to pass on this.
Yeah. So if I'm like within 20% of asking price, I'll just kind of talk to the broker, say, should I submit an offer? And if they say yes, then I'll do it. But I also do the same thing with my underwriting. I know that there are things that we don't know. So you can't, like, we can't be so aggressive
Yep.
on these offers because there's so many unknowns. And
Exactly.
I don't want to be in there and like get under contract and then retrade and say, oh, well, we discovered that, expenses are actually going to be a little higher than we anticipated. I hate doing that.
Yeah.
But it causes us to lose deals. Now, when you did submit a couple offers, do the brokers give you feedback, or do you not hear anything back from them? What happens?
Okay, so I've really worked hard to build good relations with the brokers. So I'm in constant communication. Like if I'm driving to work, I'll send them a quick message and I'll just like, hey, how you guys doing? How's the market going? So I was able to get feedback on, why it didn't work out. And a lot of times it was just my asking price was too low. But I even was able to sit with a broker and go through my underwriting and say, these are the reasons why I'm not going to budge on this, and this is the reason why. And he saw it, he understood it, and he's like, okay, I'm not, he goes, we underwrote it a little differently, but I can see how, you came to these numbers. So being open, being transparent with the brokers, they want the sale as much as you want to buy this if it's a good deal. So they're very willing to work with you. But I think it's that open, constant communication with the broker. I think it goes a long way. And I think that if you just tell them every step of the way, this is the reason why, this is what we're thinking, I'll get back to you on this day. If you say what you mean and you're who you are, I think they really appreciate that. And I think that it's been very helpful.
I love that, in Kim. And let's say I was a broker and we were hanging out and we were talking, and you just offered on a deal, and I've been talking to you for a couple of months, I would take your offer seriously. Whereas if I just met you, I wouldn't take your offer seriously because we don't know, we don't know each other. But knowing you, and just from me knowing you on this podcast and just from us connecting in social media and speaking occasionally, I know that you are the person that if you don't have a $2 million down payment, I know that you're the person that would absolutely get that $2 million down payment somehow, whether you're bringing capital raises or you're partnering with the right people. You are not the person to let a deal flop. And one of the most important things about brokers is surety of close. And if you're close enough to the purchase price and they believe that you can close over somebody else who's got a higher offer price, they will choose you. And that day is going to come, Nkem.
That's right.
Cool. You said you sent out like a little package or something with all this cool like gratitude stuff. How was that delivered via email, or how was that delivered?
No. So we put together, man, it took me a while. So I was trying to think of, I was listening to Alex Hormozy, and I was blown away. I watched his big release for his new book, and I was just blown away with how much he gave, like how much free quality things that he gave. And he's like, you have to give, 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 give. So I was thinking, what is something that has really impacted my life that I can give that can be of value, something that that's something that's truly impacted me and that I can give to people. And so I started, and it's not, initially I was like, well, it should be multifamily, but then I thought, why isn't it something that has like helped me grow? So I sat down and I wrote everything that had helped me grow. And if you like look behind you, like one of those books over there is my gratitude journal. And so every day I would write in it, and I thought, why don't I share a page of this, with everyone? And then I started thinking about like some of the mindset shifts that I have, some of the changes that I've made in who I am. And so I jotted that down. And then, I started thinking about like some of the habits that I had to get rid of. So I wrote that down. And then I wrote a letter to myself, beginning of what are we? So I wrote a letter to myself end of last year, and I opened it a few months ago, and it was just like me dreaming about what this year would entail. So I said, why don't I encourage people to do that? And so it started off as something that was supposed to be like 8 pages, and then I just kept going, and it's very interactive. So there's worksheets, there's things that you can print. And before I knew it, I think it ended up being like a 38-page workbook. So I had a graphic designer design it on Canva. And then I created a landing page, and I just put it as a PDF, and I just sent it to everyone. I started on LinkedIn, and I said, hey, especially as you're starting the new year. And I don't think there's anything wrong with a fresh start. So if you're in the camp that you're like, January 1 is just another day, but for some, it could be like the change that they need, to embark on their new expansive life, whatever that looks like. So I thought, why not give it to people as a tool to start the new year? So I released it, I don't know, a week ago or something. And just the outpouring of love and the support and the gratitude that has been like, thank you for doing this. I'm really excited. I can see how this is beneficial for me moving forward. So yeah, so it's called myexpansivelife.com, and you can go there, you can download the workbook, and you can just use it because I think it's fun and I think it's helpful.
myexpansivelife.com. Beautiful. Cool. And Nkem, Jesus, you're kicking so much butt. All right. So let's talk about what you're still looking at deals, I'm assuming. Let's talk a little bit about how you feel about 2024. What are your thoughts? Are you worried about anything?
So my mentor told me that whatever I started, whatever I decided to do, whatever I embarked upon, that I needed to commit 3 years to it. And that it could start off being amazing, or it could start off being very, very difficult. But nothing good comes easily. And you work hard, and you show up every day, and you're consistent. And that has been my motto. So 2023 was a successful year for me, but like I expected more. And so I'm not worried. I'm actually excited because I feel like 2024, I know that there'll be a lot more deals on the table. I know that, one thing that I've done, and if anyone's listening, I spent, because the deal flow this year was slimmer than I would like, I spent time nurturing my investors. I spent time, like encouraging them, empowering them, teaching them. I was doing bi-monthly webinars on just all topics: real estate investing, entrepreneurship, financial literacy. And so I have just been like kind of feeding them so that when the deals come, I know that they're ready. So if you like in 2024, as the deals start coming, I also know that like I've started priming my investors and just saying, okay, have your capital on the side. Things are going to change. And when they do, we will be ready for it. So that's really what I think 2024 will bring. I think that I spent 2023 really just prepping. And I think about it as truly a foundational year for what is to come next year. So I'm excited. I'm not relenting. I'm pressing forward. And because I know that it's going to be a good year. It's not going to be easy. And I think that the first quarter might be similar to 2023, but I think second quarter things will really pick up, and I'm just here for it. So I'm very excited. I'm still looking for deals. We have big goals that we've set for 2024 to close deals. So it's just a matter of just, I think, continue to do what I'm doing right now, which is work hard.
I love it. How are you finding deals? Are you just using broker contacts?
Okay, so we are like an all-comers strategy. So that's like one of the things that my acquisition associate has done is we picked our states that the states that we're in, that we're actively looking in. We have contacted almost every broker in those states. And we do a call back we just reach out, say hello, maybe every 2 weeks. Every day we scour all their websites for any new deals. And then we'll also look on like websites like Craxio LoopNet just to see if there's anything that lingered there. We don't mind underwriting because it's also a learning process. And the more you do, like it's all about the reps that you put in. So the more that you do, the better it is. That's been kind of the strategy. I have personally reached out to some hire executives in all the brokerage firms to just say, introduce myself, this is who I am, this is what we're about. And like we are on every listserv you can think of. So as the deals come, and then another thing is like the more they get to know us and the more we build that relationship, now we're even getting like off-market deals where they're like, okay, hey, this is about to come on the market. Take a look at it. Tell us what you think. We'll send you information. So it's been it started off with nothing, and then now we're like getting callbacks, and we're getting, we're starting to grow, and they're starting to realize that like we're someone that they could potentially work with.
I love it, Nkem. Thank you. And for my listeners and for people that are just kind of beginning, building that credibility is scary. And like, what do you tell a broker? I mean, obviously, we can all write something down. And you had I forgot about this. You had a killer elevator pitch when you first came on today. You definitely practiced that, and I want to teach people that. I love that, first of all. But we can say those things, but what happens if the conversation gets deeper and the brokers press you a little bit? Like, what do you say? Because you've closed a deal. What if you haven't?
So, okay. Oh, this is good because I had to teach my acquisition associate this. I don't think there's anything wrong with borrowing credibility. And in the beginning, what you do is, you're new, like with everything that's new, it's hard, but you build relationships. That's what this whole thing is about. Nico, it's that you spend the time and like you and I connect, you and I, we can talk about partnering. And if that's something we decide, the next time I talk to a broker, I'm like, hey, I'm working with Smax, that's how it starts, where you're just like in the beginning, I think you have to borrow credibility, and you're not borrowing it with just anyone, you're borrowing with your potential partners who have done this, who have been there, who have done this, who you can say, when you talk to a broker, these other people I'm working with, and tell them what you're doing. There's nothing wrong with saying, I have underwritten this many amount of deals. I have talked to this many amount of investors. These are the people who have given me soft commits, who I'm like, if I have a deal, this is the amount of money I potentially could bring to the table. And we all know that like investors, at a time they could have the funds and something else happens. But if you're honest, if you're transparent, I think that any broker will listen to you, especially now. They'll listen to you. And if you persist and if you persevere, I think it'll be in your favor. So the one thing for me is, and you also need to, you said good elevator speed, Pete, that's funny, but be prepared. Like you can't come, you can't come haphazardly and expect them to pay attention to you. What you give is what you'll get in return. So you show up there, you show up strong, you know who you are, you know what you stand for. And then you say, these are the things I've done. And it might be difficult in the beginning. It was really hard for me. Like I remember calling one broker 10 times. And then I had to humble myself. I'd be driving to work and I'm like, okay, I'm going to call him again. I'd be like, how's your day? This is who I am. If you don't remember me, this is this is that. And eventually he called me back and he was like, okay, let's go have coffee. So it starts with that, like, you have to be persistent. This isn't easy. But like I said before, like nothing amazing comes easily. You have to put in the work. So that's the one thing. But I will say, like, I think the best thing that you can do is to borrow credibility until you have your own.
Well said. Yeah, they're trying to weed out the tire kickers because there's so many people that will
Yes.
try to start, conversations and then back off. But with that consistency, persistency, and borrowed credibility, you'll get in there eventually. So just keep it up, peeps out there. All right, and Nkem, let's kind of shift a little bit. I don't know. I want you to kind of take a quick minute. I didn't prep you on this, to like
Okay.
think about the year and think about people who are starting off on, let's say this January 1 is going to be their first year. They're really excited to start doing exactly what you're doing. How would you guide them through this year if you can?
Okay. I didn't prep for this. So I'll go back. I might be a little scatterbrained, but it's okay. I'll land. I will say, I look back at the year and I reflect a lot. I spend every quarter, I kind of go back and see what went well, what didn't go well. So these are the things I will say. The first thing I will say is educate yourself. So start off with books. I know this time last year I was reading and I read, the best ever apartment syndication book. I read Multifamily Millionaire 1 and 2. So I started with reading, and then I started listening to podcasts. Those were two of the first things that I did. And then when I felt a little ready but scared, I went to a tiny conference. I just went to see what what it was about. Like maybe if I met one person, and I will never forget that conference was the scariest thing I did because everyone had partners and everybody had friends and I was there by myself, but it didn't matter because I knew I had a plan. So those are the first things I did. The second thing is that as you're starting out, when you think about, if you're like, I'm in this, I'm doing this, you're thinking, how can I reach the masses? I would pick a social media platform and I would share your journey. It will start off with not knowing anything, and that is okay. But people don't want people who know everything. They will sometimes learn from you. People will learn at different stages, and your investors will be your investors. Your people will be your people, and they'll resonate with you because of who you are. And so I would pick a platform and I would share my story. I would just say, this is me. This is what I'm doing. My name is, I don't know, Jack, and I'm starting out multifamily real estate investing, or self-storage, whatever it is, and you just start sharing your story. As you're reading the books, share with people. As you're like changing your mindset, share with people. As you're going to a conference, share with people. Because let people know that this is something I'm embarking on. This is a new journey. I want to start it. So I think that that's another thing. And then, well, another thing that I will say is I think that you have to learn. So I do believe in mentorship, in masterminds, in intensives. There are people who have done it better than you, and you don't necessarily need to reinvent the wheel. So I think that part of being part of taking the time, part of like expediting your journey or like propelling you forward is to link arms with people. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think if you're able to, and it doesn't have to be the most expensive. You could start off something small, but I would say just to like take you steps further, I think that you link arms with people, whether it's like intensive programs, mastermind, mentorship, whatever it is. I think that that is also another good idea. What else? Let me see. So I think like starting out, I think that's plenty. I'm saying, I'm not telling you something that I didn't do. That's exactly what I did. And it's gotten me this far. And also you have to decide, like you have to decide to show up, even when it's hard, even when it's difficult. If you have made this decision that this is the path that I want to go on, I think you do it. One last thing, this is very important. Entrepreneurship can be very lonely, because sometimes it's easier to just go to work and come back and you have people. But when you step out and you say, I'm going to do something on my own, I'm going to build something, it can be very lonely as you start building and you start like kind of climbing whatever that ladder is. So I would say find people who are on the same journey with you, on the same path, on the same mindset, and link arms with them. People will get you far, but people will also get you through some of the hard times and the hurdles that you will have. I think that's one of the Nico, I think that's the biggest thing that has helped me this year. I've been fortunate to link arms with some of the most amazing people who have supported me, who've cheered me on, who have helped me realize that even when I felt like I haven't done much, they're like, no, Nkem, you have done all these things. And like your path is like, you're going to be a trailblazer. So it's good to have those people that like your iron sharpens iron. Like as you're sharpening them, they're sharpening you and you're growing. So maybe I would have had a better answer, but I'm just reflecting on what I've done. And I hope that that's very helpful. But get educated, link arms with the right people. I think those are two big things. And then just decide every day that you're going to show up, you're going to be consistent and get on social media. You might not like it, but if you're trying to reach the world, then that's the way to do it.
Oh my God, you did not prep for this. How the heck did you do that? I was like, as you're talking, I was like, I was going to ask, well, what happens if were there times that you felt like you were just going to give up, and and all of a sudden you talk about linking arms with people who've done it before, nailing these questions, killer stuff. And I think you mentioned something also. One of your mentors said stay in it for 3 years, and you committed to it, and you're going to be doing it. And I think that's huge, awesome advice. I love that advice because we can't. A lot of times we feel like giving up, or we feel like just stopping, or we're not getting traction with social media. Oh, this is not worth it, or I'm not doing the right things, and nobody's here to watch me quit, so I'm going to quit. Nobody cares. But if you link up with people and you commit to 3 years, let's say, of stepping one foot in front of the other every single day,
Yep.
and having
Yep.
people watch you and support you, regardless of you getting any traction on those social media platforms at first, it will happen. It will
It will.
eventually happen. So just keep rocking it. And Nkem, thank you. Let's do
Nico,
this.
thank you for inviting me. Thank you for seeing something in me. I don't know if I said it last time, but I really mean it. You know, whether anyone's listening or not, I'm just grateful, you know, that you decided to like seek me out and just say, hey, I want to record your journey. I want to see how you're doing. And you know, it's not been easy. There are times where like in this room I've cried and I'm like, why don't you just go back to work? But when you know what you're doing, you know where you're going, you know that your reach is bigger, you'll wipe the tears and you'll keep going. So I'm just grateful to have met you and to like, you know, to be able to like come and like recount this year. I'm really grateful for it.
I am too. The feeling is mutual. And Kim, I see you as a superstar. And I know that my listeners are going to get so much value from watching you and over this year and just learning about you and your journey. And hopefully they'll be inspired to take that step as well come January 1st. And I'm just excited. So in Kim, I don't want to say goodbye because we're going to still talk. But if people wanted to reach
Yes.
out with you, people are going to want to talk to you more like I will. So how can they reach you?
Two ways. Our website is www.phcinvest.com. That has all our information, of course, and you can join our community. That is how you get a ton of information, but also find me on LinkedIn. It is the platform that I committed to, and it's I have seen tremendous growth from it, and I'd love to connect with you. So like connect with me, send me a DM. I'm like really good about spend way more time than I would like to on that platform, but I'll definitely reach back to you and then we can like continue this journey. But if there's any way that I can help or if there are any tools that has worked for me, I would love to share it with you.
That's right. You are a go-giver in Kim. So thank you so much for joining me this year. I am so excited to watch your journey continue to unfold. You are going to be such a superstar. I can't wait to place money with you and one day for another investment. Thank you for being you. Thank you for inspiring us. Thank you for everything and have an awesome holiday season and new year.
Yay. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year, everyone.
All right. Hey, Small Axe community. I would like to say thank you for listening to another episode of my podcast where we show you how to use your small axe to build a lasting empire. Now, if you liked what you heard, it would mean the world to me if you would subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, and write a review. Also, if you want to get in touch with me, go to my website at smalaxecommunities.com. Book a call with me. And until the next episode, keep sharpening those axes.